Hello, hi, fourth wall. Oh my goodness. I think my guy's a little big. I'm gonna shrink him down just a little bit. There we go. Hi! Hello, everybody. Alright, I'm giving it a second. Letting people join before I start up. Finally changed my profile picture. Nice. Oh my goodness, how is everybody's day going? I just noticed your name has changed. You changed the "your" in your name. Oh my goodness. Secretly your dad. Decent so far? That's awesome. Dude, I've been tidying up all day. I'm sorting out all of my clothes, doing laundry, seeing what I want to bring for my trip that's coming up. Dude, it's exhausting. I'll be honest, like, it's so fucking tiring. Oh my gosh, I really wish there were more costumes in this game. I decided to put his default because we've been wearing the old school suit. I wanted to give him his fresh new look, giving it a chance, I guess. I'm working on an animation right now, dude. That's so awesome. I've been meaning to work on animations. That's just, you know, it's not something I've been doing. What's it called? Look at that. Oh, he has a little Trucy on the side. Or, well, it's, Mr. Hat, or whatever the fuck his name was. What's it called? Let's get started, though. Because we did leave off in the middle of an investigation. We were talking to, Ponko. I think that's what her name was. Oh, she's so fucking cute. Look at her. Oh my gosh, Ponko, Ponko. This is quite the place. I can't believe we get to see a rocket this close up. This is a replica of Hat 1 that was launched 7 years ago. It's exactly like the real Hat 1, inside and out. Its little brother, the Hat 2, was supposed to launch the other day. I wonder if Ponko knows why the launch— oh my gosh. I wonder if Ponko knows why the launch was cancelled. Over there is an exhibit about the launch 7 years ago. Check it out. Check it out. Okay. Ooh, the little Nash in the suit. Space suits, photos, newspaper articles. I'd like to come here again on a day off. Hey, what's this a photo of? Phoenix, that's the staff of the Hat 1 project. Aww. There's Mr. Starbuck. He looks so young and so different. Look at that, before he fucked up his hair. Holy shit. Who is that? Who is that on the right? Hello, Sailor. Oh my goodness. Hi, hello everybody. And that's... What is it, Athena? Is something wrong? Nothing. I just thought Mr. Starbuck looked really young, too. That's all. Well, it was 7 years ago, after all. So the young guy standing next to Mr. Starbuck is Clay Turan, the victim. So they were mentor and protege even way back then. He's even got one of the staff jackets. He looks just like a regular staff member. Now, Clay was still a student then. He just borrowed one of Solomon's old jackets. Ah, okay. That makes sense. Clay would have still been in high school 7 years ago. Everybody looks so happy. This space museum is great. What fantastic exhibits. This area used to be Launchpad 2. That's why the only entrance is on the 3rd floor. Wouldn't it be better if they just made a new ground floor entrance instead? There was talk of it, but they had to scrap their plans because of the budget cuts. Ooh, broke. Budget cuts, budget cuts. We need more money. Money! Who would record that kind of information into a guide robot? While it was in space, the Hat One launched a probe called Hope. The Hope probe collected some samples from an asteroid and returned 5 days ago. That's what Director Cosmos said too. He told us it came back the day before Clay was killed. And here it is. The Hope space probe. How come Phoenix didn't change? He did change. He has like very minor wrinkles. It's only been 7 years and he was a grown man already. I think I've seen that logo somewhere before. Let's see. Oh, yeah. The capsule that the victim was carrying. I think it had the same logo. I think it can be seen in the photo attached to the autopsy report. Maybe she'll give me more info if I show it to her. Ponko, do you recognize this capsule here in the top right? I gotta go, my earphones are about to die. Oh, bye! Thank you for the follows, guys. Checking registered data. I know. It's the Hope capsule. It was carried inside the Hope probe. It contained the asteroid samples, right? Yes, it was designed to store the samples gathered by the Hope probe. It's been stored in the safe in Launchpad 1 ever since it returned to Earth. It must not be removed. It must not be removed. Oh my god! Don't worry, Ponko. The people in charge already know what happened. They do? They do? I must ask them later. So the capsule has been kept in Launchpad 1, huh? Maybe Clay was trying to carry it to safety after the explosion. The Space Center staff must have been really excited to finally get the capsule back. Man, it's a pity this incident occurred before they got the chance to check the contents. Well, the police took it as evidence, so they'll have to wait a little longer. That's crazy. The way the Space Center Launchpad is set up is really cool. Would you like me to tell you about it? Would you? The setup of the Launchpad? Go gentle on my spiky-haired mind. I wanna know! I wanna know! Phoenix wants to know too. Great. Now Athena's got a case of ponkoitis. Hooray! Hooray! I will tell you then. The rocket is built right inside the Launchpad structure. When the rocket is complete, it is moved along with the Launchpad over the rails. And brought into position at the launch site. So they can move. Isn't it cool? Isn't it? We used to have a big budget, so that's how we could build it all. It's very cool. A grand setup that suits an important place like the Space Center. I guess everyone is hoping for a bigger budget next year, myself included. I'm guessing the whole thing is operated from the control room, huh? That it is, but it can also be operated from the new command center too. Either way, the safety lock in the boarding lounge has to first be disengaged. I guess before a big move like that can be carried out, there are all kinds of procedures. I would love to see the launch pad being moved. When's the next one scheduled for? Searching data. All future plans have been put on hold because of the bombing and the murder. I'll bet. Which is perfectly understandable. Hi! Well, when was the last time it was moved? Searching data. She meant to say, like, yesterday. Or the day before. I'm sorry. That answer isn't in my answer database. It's been removed. That's crazy. I guess Ponko can only answer certain questions. Well, we certainly learned a lot about the Space Museum. Thank you, Ponko. You explained everything very well. I love to explain. Thank you for listening. Thank you. You two are like old friends. It's hard to believe you just met recently. It's because Ponko is so friendly. Oh, what should we investigate next? Let's go find Detective Fulbright. We have things to ask him about. Finally, shit. Let's see. The security footage and the fingerprint data. Was it? Okay. Then let's go back to Launchpad 1 corridor. Bye, Ponko. See you later. Come again. And don't forget to visit the gift shop. Poor Ponko. What a Dickensian life we are all forced to lead. Bye, Ponko. Everybody say bye, Ponko. Oh my goodness. Hi, hello. Duel Destinies mentioned. Dude, I'm having so much fun. I love playing these games. What should I do? Which path is the path of justice? There's Detective Fulbright. He still seems to be lost, even though it's a straight corridor. Let's hope he still has a cooperative mood as well, then. He's still in a cooperative mood, whatever. If he doesn't cooperate, then I'll just have to use my powers on him. You mean that lady in distress bit? Hi! We found a bullet hole in the wall at the crime scene. You did? Our team found that too. That was Detective Arm who fired that bullet. Detective Arm? That's right! A warning shot for the defendant. Was it really such a high-threat situation that she needed to do that? I'm afraid I don't know the details. What with Detective Arm gone and all. But I thought there were two people who discovered the crime scene together? We already know I keep saying detector. We already know Director Cosmos will testify tomorrow, so tomorrow will be about what he knows. Yeah, he refuses to talk until tomorrow. That's ridiculous. That's crazy. Hey, you're pretty smart. That's exactly what we're planning to serve as the main course. I hope it goes down easy. Detective, we'd like to run a comparison on some prints we found at the boarding lounge. Yes, I just happen to have compiled the print data of everyone related to this case. You can always make another copy for myself, so it's all yours. Consider it a gift. This is quite a bit of data. Well, when I said everyone, I meant it. Prosecutor Blackwell said to dig deep, so that's what I did. It sure took a while, though. Whoa, he got Apollo's and mine prints. He even got prints for all of the robots. The robots have prints? I guess when Blackwell said to dig deep, Fulbright didn't bother to ask how deep. Clay's fingerprints are here too! I burst through his glove during the investigation. We had to get his fingerprints to confirm his identity, after all. I still can't believe you took off his glove to get his fingerprints. Yeah, well, you can't blame me for thinking they're important in this case. I mean, they are. They're probably going to be the reason that we figure shit out. There are a lot of doors that require fingerprint verification in the lounge. So depending on whose prints we find, it can completely change the tide for both sides. Did Detroit become human? Makes sense. After all, the culprit's prints did get them past the fingerprint lock somehow. No, now take this picture. It might come in handy. Isn't this just a photo of the Launchpad 1 door? Yep, but Prosecutor Blackwell seemed really interested in it for some reason. Huh? What's so important about this door? Beats me. But boy, could you see the gears in his head go hyperdrive at it? Sounds like this is going to be a major point of contention tomorrow. Good morning, it is 2:51 p.m. Hey, don't forget about the print comparison, boss. Right. Detective Fulbright, do you think you could run the test for us right now? You just leave it to me. In justice we trust. Okay, here we go. Well, it looks like it was Mr. Starbuck who opened the security door. He must have opened it when they went to go board the rocket. His heart must have been full of hopes and dreams for his space adventure right then. Ooh. Time zones or something. You're not even that far behind. You live in the same area. That's freaking Susie. You're like an hour behind. Yeah. Alright, where else can we go? Nothing new here. Oh my goodness. I'm thinking, where do we need to go? Do we still have things to say to him? I doubt it. We got the answers from him. Maybe there's something we can show him? Maybe we can start showing him shit. Detective, about the security footage that was taken by the boarding lounge 1 camera. Oh, that footage? Go ahead and ask me anything you'd like about it. Is there any way I could see a little more of the part just after this? Easy as pie. I'd be glad to show you. Here we go. Ooh. Let's see. Huh? The screen went blank. Yes, apparently the after effects of the explosion damaged the wires. So there's no footage after this point. Why didn't you just say so from the beginning? Something definitely seems to be up with you, Detective. You're unusually cooperative. Oh my goodness. Well, I just figure if we work together, then we'll get much closer to justice, right? But it seems like something's really been bothering you. You don't have some ulterior motive, do you? What? I don't know what you're talking about. I would never do anything like that. Ooh. I forgot we're playing as Phoenix. This annoying ass shit again. It's been a while, but those are definitely Cyclocks. Did you just mouth sacked? Is there something I should be sacked about? No. Cyclocks. It's a system of locks on the secrets in a person's heart. I can see when people are trying to hide those secrets by using the power of this Magatama. Presenting evidence can break those locks and reveal any secrets they're hiding. Mr. Wright, how much did they bilk you how much did they bilk you out of that piece of rock? If you've been swindled, I know some lawyers I can introduce you to. Okay, but you're clearly lying. You're clearly lying. You're clearly hiding something. I'm more than capable of representing myself. Thank you very much. It isn't some kind of fraud. It really works. A friend gave it to me a long time ago. Oh! Thank you for the gifts, by the way, guys. I appreciate it. What? I guess seeing is believing. Allow me to show you. Let's see what presenting the Magatama R will reveal. Shall we?
Take that!
I think you're hiding something, Detective. So why don't you just tell us about it? What to do? Which path is the path of justice? Detective Fulbright is really in agony. I bet this is the issue he's so torn up over. The love is so fucking funny, you know it's justice. Like, please be serious. That's all he ever fucking talks about. I really understand what's been bothering you, Detective. I truly do. Something happened that goes against your principles. Isn't that right? No. I don't know what you're talking about. Until the explosions occurred, everything was just fine. Is that a fact? Yep. Peaceful as peaceful can be. Everyone whistling a happy tune as they did their job. You never saw a more relaxed guard detail from a routine rocket launch. I don't think the guard detail was as relaxed as you claim, as long as this exists.
Take that!
It has to be this, right? Before the explosions, what was supposed to happen where was a rocket launch? Wait, what was supposed to happen here was a rocket launch. Why the fuck did I read it like that? Jesus. And yet security was so tight. They even brought in a special task force. I'd hardly describe that as a relaxed guard detail. Let's go, one lockdown. Now, hold on just one moment. The entire nation had their eyes on this extremely important rocket launch. That's why I was called in on special security detail. As versatile as you are, I can certainly believe that that's true. But I say it's very strange that this person would be a part of that detail from the outset. Oh, what's her name? Yeah, the other
Take that!
detective. Detective Arms specialized in bomb cases. The fact that she was here on hand means that you people knew there was the possibility that a bombing would occur. You got me, Mr. Wright! Ooh. Alright, I concede. You win. It's just as you say. A few days before the launch, they were warned about a potential bombing. But the plan to launch went ahead in spite of that threat. But why? What were they planning to do if someone got hurt or killed? I mean, someone definitely got killed. Yeah, I know. The decision to move forward wasn't exactly just... was it? How was the warning delivered? By phone. And directly to Director Cosmos. But the police department instructed everybody to keep it under wraps. That's a big thing to keep quiet about. No wonder you were so upset. But it's not only that. I've been distraught about Prosecutor Blackwell as well. Prosecutor Blackwell? Well, as his handler, I'm sure you have a lot of difficulties. That's not it. It's a question of justice. I've been wondering about why he's allowed to stand in court. No, that's real, because what the fuck? Did he not kill someone? He's literally in jail. Y'all, he's literally in fucking jail. Don't forget about that. The reason he's still prosecuting? Detective Fulbright, please tell us everything you know. 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's continue. Where were we? Talking to you folks about it would definitely be breaking the rules. Never mind that. What are the rules but things to be broken, right? Well, to tell you the truth, having a prisoner act as a prosecutor is highly irregular. I think just that much. Well, thank you for the heart me, I appreciate it. So why is it being allowed? I've been wondering about it. So you weren't told why either, huh? No, I guess the order came from pretty high up in the ladder. Yeah, would have to. But Prosecutor Blackwell told me once. The hunt I've been on for the Phantom of 7 years past continues even still. 7 years past? Phantom, huh? And not one of the friendly variety either, I gather. This Phantom of 7 years past. Any idea who or what he was talking about? Not a clue. But he seems to think that this phantom is behind this whole incident somehow. Wait a minute. He thinks they may be connected to this case? Yep. This case has way too many similarities to what happened 7 years ago. For starters, this case happened right here in this very space center, too. And in both incidents, a threat was issued via telephone. So that's why Prosecutor Blackwell thinks this incident is the work of the Phantom? Well, it's not the entire reason. I mean, if you want to talk about 7 years ago, that's when Prosecutor Blackwell was found guilty of murder. That messy case is what started the whole dark age of the law. So you see how this Phantom and Prosecutor Blackwell's conviction might be related. Yeah, I can see why I'd think that. This incident and the Phantom, not to mention Blackwell's past, it's almost inconceivable that they would come to a head here. This might sound crazy, but Prosecutor Blackwell can't possibly believe that Mr. Starbuck is this Phantom person, right? I mean, he was acting kind of strange during the last trial and all. Prosecution appears to be ready as well. Ooh. He was even willing to do, like, the thing and everything. That was crazy. I catch everybody up. Not yet. I'm not quite ready yet. Yeah, he did that shit early. He usually does it, like, mid-trial or near the end. I gotta go. Oh, bye! Have fun. No doubt he thinks Mr. Starbucks is his Phantom, but I do get the feeling that he thinks the defendant has ties to them. Which is why he's acting so impatient. He's got a personal grudge against Mr. Starbuck. And that's not real justice. I've always trusted Prosecutor Blackwell's judgment until now. But this time, I'm just so overwrought about it all. If he's lost his ability to think rationally, I'm afraid it might lead to a false conviction. I've never seen Detective Fulbright so tormented. This must be why he's so cooperative. Was the Batman Impreg commission finished? Yes, it was. Same day. I'll probably do a drawing stream later, too. Don't worry. That's exactly what we defense lawyers are working to prevent. I feel bad for Prosecutor Blackwell, but I'm going to be rooting for your team this time. But don't tell him that. You have to promise me you won't. Detective Fulbright, I guess I was wrong about you. I swore to reform Prosecutor Blackwell and make him a valued member of society again. So I can't just sit by and watch him give in to his emotions and tear the offended apart. Ooh, my bad. You are the only ones who can stop him in court. That was a commission? Yes! What's it called? Fourth Wall. Fourth Wall was spamming, too, that it was a commission. And who it was from, and everything. You really care what's best for Prosecutor Blackwell, don't you, Detective? Leave the courtroom to us. It's not like we want a guilty verdict, either. I was hoping you'd say that. I'm really grateful to the two of you. To show my thanks, I'll give you another bit of information. It's about the eyewitness. I saw her hanging around the Space Center entrance a little while ago. Really? Let's go find her, Mr. Wright. Thanks, you two. I feel a lot better now that I've been able to get that off my chest. I'm going to work extra hard to find that perfect piece of evidence for you. In justice we trust. On 3, 1, 2, 3. In justice we trust. Okay, later. The way he did it by himself, that's so embarrassing. Like, he was like, come on, guys, everybody at 3. And then it was just him. Nobody else said it with him. There he goes. Wait, were we supposed to say in justice we trust back there, too? See, nobody fucking said it with him. Oh, my God. Let's go see that witness now. Alright. The Space Center entrance it is. And the witness must be around here somewhere. It's a fucking robot? Hello. Hello. Oh. Don't tell me the witness is a robot. I don't think it is. I think it has to be one of the girls in the picture, right? Hello? Come over here. Hello. Hello. Are you sightseeing? Are you lost? Are you... I'm Clonko. Shall I guide you? Guide you? Oh! I don't know why, but this robot is kind of freaking me out. Hey! You're not supposed to be wandering around. Oh, I did say it right. Oh my God. Hello, sailor! Wowie zowie! Hello, sailor. Again? I've had it with you, hunk of junk. Yeah. I'm outside. Am I wandering? When did that happen? Okay, welcome back, hunk of junk. You don't know how close you came. If you didn't snap out of it, I was gonna put you on the curb on trash day. Oh. Nothing works better than a 42.5 degree karate chop. That's pretty specific. Excuse me, but are you the one who witnessed the murder? Oh, and I'm Phoenix Wright, the lead attorney for this case. How do you do? Big shot lawyers, huh? Oh no. Does that mean she's British too? I don't want to make her British. That's a lot of work. Big shot lawyers, huh? I'm Aura Blackwell. I'm a researcher developing robots here in the Cosmos Space Center. Blackwell? Could she be? And this good-for-nothing robot is named Hunk of Junk. My name isn't Hunk of Junk. My name is Clonko. That's mean, Miss Aura. Quit complaining. Your model number is Ponko 2. Yeah. But Miss Aura, everyone calls me Clonko. Quit your squawking already. Now, what are you? She's so mean to him! Oh my God! There. Bet you won't be talking back now. Yeah, I will obey completely. Yikes. I better watch what wires I cross with this one. She is so fun. I'm sorry. Pissing me off a little bit. Angering me a little bit. She's too fine. Why is she being mean? What? Your last name is Blackwell. Do you have a relative in the legal profession? You are correct. Simon Blackwell, who used to be a prosecutor, is... Shut up. Only speak when I order you to speak. Simon is my little brother. You know him? I don't want to make her British. That's so much... Golly! She's fine but mean. She is fine but mean. You're so right. Do I have to? I think I have to. Because he's British. We know he's British. Look at the way he talks. The slang he uses. Just don't make her British. Yeah, but then what would I complain about? You know what I'm saying? I like the voice I gave her. I don't know. Yes, we met him in court a few times, right, Athena? I can try it. I don't know if I'm gonna like it, though. I don't think I'll like it. What a dull creature. Has her switch been turned off? Athena? Being shy? This is new. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Even you're rejecting it. No, me, please. Oh my god, fine. No British, no British. Oh yeah. I heard he was prosecuting again. Despite being a prisoner. Why doesn't he just stick to solving disputes among inmates in prison? Right? What's it called? Doing British accents are not my strong suit. I don't think I do a good job. So it hurts me to do it. Hey, what do you think, hunk of junk? Yeah, Miss Aura, that hurts. Stop! I'm asking you a question. Why don't you answer me, useless hunk of junk? But, Miss Aura, you told me to only speak when you order me to speak. I told you to never talk back to me. You're worth more as scrap. Robot abuse. Hawk attacks. Black Quill family life must sure be interesting. Well, do you have any other questions? Wait, of course you do. You're a lawyer. It's not like I'm on Simon's side or anything. I just want to get this over with. So... I'm sorry, she's so fine. I'm smiling. I'm smiling. She, like, oh my goodness. Holy shit. How does she look so good? She looks so fucking good. And she's 3D, mind you. Imagine what she looked like in 2D. Nomi is in love. Stop. And she's mean, too. I kind of like her. I'm giggling, kicking my fucking feet. I'm sorry. So... You're the person who witnessed the incident? That's right. I was on the 4th floor of the main building. In the robotics lab. The explosion disabled the elevators. So, I lowered my emergency ladder like the detective leading the evacuation told me to. But it was such a pain. Why couldn't they have used the ladders in the other rooms? It must have been a very troubling experience. Probably best to just humor her here. Then as I passed by the 3rd floor, boarding lounge 1 window on my way down, I saw the crime as it happened. And that's about it. So you saw the crime as it happened, and that's about it. I see. Wait, what? You saw it being committed? This is no time to just nod and repeat. So you saw into the 3rd floor lounge. That little window right there. That little window right there. The very scene of the crime. Or was it above? Like that little area above. Ugh. It's cold as fuck. I gotta put my blanket on my head so that it wraps around my body. There we go. Sorry about that. The very scene of the crime. That's right. And there's a small window on the right-hand side of the room. I looked through that from the outside. The room was pitch black, but I saw a shady figure holding a lighter in their left hand and a knife in their right. So you didn't see who it was? That must have been the culprit. Did you see who that person was? Of course not. The power was out on that floor then, and there was only that tiny window. I see. But you did witness the moment of the murder. Yes. I saw the figure with the lighter raise their knife and... It happened at precisely 10 a.m. Did you witness anything else? Did the killer have any distinguishing features? I already told you. It was pitch black in there. Although... I did notice that the lighter the person had in their left hand had a pretty ornament on it. It looked like a planet. It was blue. Like a little Earth emblem. They had good taste in knickknacks anyway. An Earth emblem on the lighter? I'd better remember that. Robot lobotomy, basically. Like, damn, I don't know. I feel so bad for him. Thank you for your statement. We'll definitely prove Mr. Starbuck's innocence with this. Yeah, right. I won't hold my breath. Pardon me. Oh, did I hurt your feelings? Sorry. I just detest lawyers. That's all. What don't you like about lawyers? It's just an instinctive dislike. But don't feel bad. I hate prosecutors even more. That didn't make me feel any better, actually. Why do you hate lawyers so much? A little thing from my past. The whole legal system is meaningless in the first place. I certainly don't agree. I mean, people are imperfect. They lie, they're influenced by silly emotions. You can't expect such imperfect creatures to uphold a reasonable system of law. Ooh, girl, you're losing me. You're losing me. You're beautiful, but you're losing me. You're losing me. I like robots much better. Even sad sacks like this one. Hey, you! Look alive there! Oh my god! Yeah. Yes, yes! Here I go! I am the ultimate robot. Oh! Alright, that's enough out of you. You're getting a little too carried away. Huh? What was I doing? Yep, I like robots much better. At least you can make them any way you want them. Unlike humans. With their petty emotions and constant worries. How can you say such things? Feeling emotions. Worrying about the things we care about. That's what makes us human! Well, the girl finally talks. And she starts with a speech. That's what makes us human? You mean getting angry and snorting like that? Rational thought. That's what separates humans from animals. Unfortunately, your reasoning capabilities are more akin to that of a clever little monkey. But that's nothing to be ashamed of. It must be nice to have such a simple mind. Can I punch her, boss? Get a hold of yourself, Athena. Humans certainly are absurd. I say you were clever. I said you were clever, didn't I? Poor thing. Tell me, with people like you in charge, how can I possibly trust the legal system? So she distrusts not only lawyers and prosecutors, but the whole legal system? What in the world happened to this woman to make her so bitter? Even if somebody important to me was killed, I would never wish to see their killer brought to trial. Girl! Because I'd much rather kill them myself. You know what? That's crazy. I mean, I get it, but... You can't be serious. Hmm? The thing you're wearing around your neck. Oh, this? Around Athena's neck? Does she mean widget? Oh, I get it. Well, Her Royal Highness has returned at last to her castle. Her royal what? Is she talking about Athena? By the way, I heard the rumors. Our director is going to be the star witness in court tomorrow, right? Director Cosmos? Yes, that's right. You poor things. You'd better be careful. An old man is a big liar and a huge braggart. What? He might seem like a bigwig, but the center has all kinds of problems. He has a lot of skeletons in his closet. But it's your problem, so why should I care? What? That's it? No friendly tips? No good luck guys? Just splendid. I'll leave you to your woes. Come on, hunk of junk. It's sad to me that she doesn't believe in our legal system anymore. She must have had a very bad experience to make her feel like that. Are you alright, Athena? You seem very down. I just can't believe she said all those things! Wow, she's really upset. Has she been trying to not let it show all this time? Well, I guess it's not all that surprising. You hear about fabricated evidence and false indictments on the news all the time. You mean that whole Dark Age of the Law nonsense? I'm so sick of hearing about that. Well, all we can do is believe in what we're doing. Yeah. You're right, boss. I agree. Maybe it's time we went back to see Mr. Starbuck. Good idea! We should tell him about the bullet and Miss Blackwell's statement. I'm sorry, I'm not used to it. A Miss Blackwell. Oh my goodness. Alright then. Next stop, the detention center. My leg is cold. Hold on. My legs are cold. I'll be right back. Well, you can still hear me. You're gonna hear me. I'm just gonna grab something. Ooh, I don't even have to go that far. Oh my goodness. Whew. My legs were like freezing. There we go. Sorry about that. I just pulled on my like little winter jammy pants on top of my other pants. It's cold. It's freaking cold. My window's not even open, dude. Insane. Fuck ass haircut. Oh my god. My lawyers are here. Must be bad news. Hey, not necessarily. We found a new witness. A researcher saw the moment of the murder through the lounge window during her escape. Really? So they're gonna let me go? Unfortunately, it was dark. She couldn't identify the person. I should have known my stars never align just right, too. But we got a lead too, Mr. Starbuck. The murderer had a lighter with an Earth emblem on it. A lighter with an Earth emblem? Oh! Did you remember something? Yep, I sure did. Just a little bit, though. Anything at all would be a help. So please, tell us what you remembered. His haircut is meant to imitate a rocket, methinks. It's ugly as fuck. I see it, but it's ugly as fuck. I thought I was unconscious the whole time. But now I remember I woke up for a few brief moments. Yeah, saying that in court is gonna get you fucked up. But, you know what, whatever. We're gonna have to argue. Super argue. But now I remember I woke up for a few brief moments. That's huge! Do you remember seeing anything? A lighter. I saw the flame of a lighter floating in the darkness. Good, good. What else did you see? What was nearby? It was definitely the boarding lounge, so it must have been after Clay carried me there. In the light from the flames, I saw a dark shadow flickering. A dark shadow. And that must have been the third party we've been looking for. Thank you, Mr. Starbuck. You've been more help than you know. If we can prove that there was this third party, let me start that over one more time. If we can prove there was this third person at the scene, and they're the real killer, then you'll be cleared of all suspicion. The key will be whether or not we can identify this third person in court tomorrow. At least we have something to go on now, and that's a big plus. I should probably tidy the evidence up a bit before someone mistakes me for a hoarder. Irrelevant evidence tidied up. Ooh. Now that we have a glimmer of hope, I'm suddenly starving. Why don't we go back to the office and treat ourselves to a big celebration in advance? For someone who's highly empathetic, you can be surprisingly unsympathetic. Oop, I didn't mean to open that. So, you found your strategy for tomorrow's trial, huh? Good for you, Daddy. Well, it's one step forward anyway. Hopefully it'll give us a fighting chance in court. As long as we can find out who this third person is. Now let's get something to eat. I'm starving. My vote is for Eldun's noodles. You actually like that shit? Okay. Y'all got money and that's what you're gonna spend it on? Oh, Apollo! Oh my goodness! Oh my god! Oh my god! What are you doing here? I didn't think the clinic was ready to release you yet. My wounds are fine, and I'm done lying around. Apollo, you're supposed to be in bed. Leave the case to us. We'll take it from here. Thanks, but that's not an option. Not for me. Apollo. It's his friend, bro. Of course he's gonna want to do it. You shouldn't underestimate your injuries, Apollo. I don't want you overdoing it. I'm fine. I'm not in pain anymore. Besides, they just gave me an IV at the clinic. An IV isn't a cure-all, mummy man. Ooh! We're getting sassy, at least in our mind. Alright, Phoenix. Anyway, just tell me how the case is going. Have you guys made any progress? A suspicious figure was spotted at the scene. We think they must be the real killer. A suspicious figure, huh? Right. I thought she'd be happier than that. Don't get me wrong, I'm happy. And I fully intend to see Clay's murderer apprehended. Absolutely nothing will get in the way of that. Oh, I didn't mean to click that again. Oops, 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 oops. There we go. Clay was your best friend, right, Apollo? That's right. Best friend since junior high. Sounds like me and Junie. So, what was Clay like? Well, he was full of compassion and energy. And he had a really loud voice. If the two of you did voice training together now, I bet you'd break a few windows. You know, I bet you're right. Oh, there's that fuck-ass picture again! It seems like only yesterday. Clay was a guy who lived for his dreams. We used to talk about it a lot. He was going to be an astronaut, and me, a lawyer. We'd talk well into the night, and even then, we never grew tired of it. Apollo, what about that jacket? Is it his? Oh, it's Clay's. Oh! I knew it. It's a special jacket that was only issued to members of the Hat Project. He was finally able to get one of his own once he was selected for the Hat 2 mission. He always looked so proud wearing it. But just when his dream was finally coming true, I still can't believe it. Damn it, it's not fair! Ooh, is he finally breaking down? Yeah, that tends to happen when you don't take care of your mental health at all. Apollo, I hope you don't try to carry the burden all alone. I guess we're both unlucky. My own debt was a disaster. Debut was a disaster. Debt? Dumbass. I guess you're right on some level. That trial a year and a half ago wasn't exactly the smoothest of starts. That was a rough time for me. But Clay refused to let me quit. You're fine, he'd say. Don't give up. It was right during his screening exams, too. I couldn't have become a full-fledged lawyer without him. That "you're fine" of his is why I'm still standing here today. I fear... Did they think of making Clay... Did they think of Clay at all during Apollo Justice? Or was he created, like, just this game? Because... I fear they might have forgotten to, like, you know, add any kind of descriptors of him in the last game. He feels a little too important to just not being shown like that. That's crazy. You're fine and I'm fine. Were like your catchphrases, weren't they? Something like that. Sure brings back memories. When we were in junior high, Clay's mom passed away in an accident. But he wouldn't show his sadness to anyone. One night, I found him crying all alone in the school courtyard. Mom! Get away, Apollo! Don't come over here! Clay, listen to me. I don't have a mother either. Motherless... Motherless... Oh! They're babies! I always think everybody else has a mom. Why am I the only one? But, you know, when I start to feel that way, I yell at the top of my lungs. I holler, "I'm fine!" And then, you know what? I start to feel like maybe I really will be fine. Apollo Justice is fine! Okay, Clay, now it's your turn. Okay. Clay Turan is fine! There you go! Now we're both fine. We're fine. We're fine! What are you laughing about? See? We're fine! You left first. I'm fine. You're fine. We're both fine. Oh god! That's crazy. They're doing this against me specifically. This is a personal attack. You need to take them to court. This is crazy. Thanks, Apollo. When you say it out loud, it really starts to feel real. And as long as you don't give up, you can keep on fighting. That's what we believed. As long as you don't give up. Wasn't there somebody else who said something similar? If I give in to my fear, I'll never find the truth! As long as I don't give up, I can keep up the fight. Clay called Mr. Starbuck his mentor and looked up to him. I wonder if I can be a good role model for my staff like Mr. Starbuck. Sorry, Mr. Wright, but I'll be taking a leave of absence. What? Wait, what do you mean by a leave? You're really serious? Can you at least give me a reason why? When I put Clay's jacket on, I swore to him that I would catch his killer myself. But that's our goal too! I agree with Athena. We should work together to find the truth. The truth, huh? That's a noble cause. But what if the truth you seek and the truth I seek turn out to be different? I'm not sure I follow. What are you saying, Apollo? I'm going to catch the person responsible for taking my friend's life. In my own way. We killing people? I'll back you up, Apollo. Trust. I'm on your side. That baddie before, she was talking about some... I would kill the fuck out of somebody that killed somebody close to me. You know what? True. Sorry, that's crazy. Apollo murderer era! Take good care of Mr. Starbuck for me. No. I must be going. Goodbye. Apollo! Goodbye? Did he just say goodbye? I sensed a lot of seething anger and hatred coming from him. And also... suspicion. He's not walking out on us like this! I'm gonna talk some sense into him! Hold on, Athena. Apollo can believe what he wants, but I believe he's wrong. Even if we take different paths, that should be the same. I think the quicker we solve the case, the better it'll be for Apollo. Yeah, you're right, boss. Alright, that's enough for one day. Make sure you're ready for tomorrow's trial, okay? If he were here right now, Apollo would say, I'm fine. Everything is fine. I just hope things really do turn out fine tomorrow. Is this gonna be to be continued? Alrighty, y'all. Hold on. We're gonna continue, but real quick, I'm gonna go fill up my water, go to the bathroom, whatever. You guys should do the same. I'll be right back. Hello, everybody. I'm back. Hi. Hold on. I'm going to put my blanket on. Go. Bye-bye. Bye. Jarvis, clip that. Clip what? The dead silence? Oh, shit. I left my... It's okay. I have a second water bottle. I'll just go get it once I have to fill it up again. Welcome back. Thank you. Ooh. I suppose we should reconvene the trial of Solomon Starbuck or something.
Objection!
Your Honor? Could you please come out from under your bench? There are no more bombs, I promise. Pussy. Oh, yes, my apologies. I'm still a little chumpy when it comes to trials involving bombs. To be fair, he did go through 2 trials, back to back. Where he almost got fucking bombed. I mean, the first courtroom exploded. Then Mr. Tenate self-destructed. I guess that's one way of describing what happened to Tenate. Anyway, it seems that Mr. Justice was seriously wounded by Mr. Tenate's actions. So you, Mr. Wright, will be taking up the defense? Do you have an understanding of what has happened in the trial so far? Yes, Your Honor. The defense is ready. Very well. Is the prosecution also ready? I take it you'd like me to give the opening statement this time? Looks like the judge has become a pretty good mind reader. Well, he's certainly seen more than his fair share of colorful prosecutors. I could say he's something of a veteran of sorts. Beady eyes? Yeah, no, that was really fucking ugly underneath that mask. Let's see. The previous part of this trial, we learned that the victim, Clay Turan, escaped from Launchpad 1 carrying the defendant, Solomon Starbuck. There were explosions on the 2nd floor of the Space Center, and on the rocket itself. The 2 astronauts used the Launchpad 1 corridor to reach the boarding lounge. And how could the victim climb down the ladder if he was carrying the defendant? That was the mystery that needed to be solved. But Mr. Justice proved the victim was killed in the boarding lounge. Prosecutor Blackwell, were you able to discover any new facts related to this point? Upon further investigation, we discovered an oxygen tank fragment in the lounge. Surprisingly, it would appear that Justice Dono's argument was correct. So that means the testimonies of the first 2 people on the scene are suspect. And there were 2 people who claimed to be the first on the scene. But can we really trust their statements? Let's see. The 2 people were Detective Candace Arm and Yuri Cosmos, right? You think that one of them might have given a false statement to the police? Yes, it's certainly possible. We might have to do a little more digging. Just as our team was about to cross-examine Detective Arm, the courtroom bombing incident occurred. The trial was put on hold. That accursed fellow. He killed my witness. He killed Detective Arm. He definitely put the kibosh... He definitely put the kibosh on anyone asking her about what she saw. Fucked up everybody. Exactly. In other words, the question of who killed the victim in the boarding lounge has, once again, become the main focus of this trial. It's obvious Prosecutor Blackwell still thinks it was Mr. Starbuck. Fulbright said that Blackwell has a thing against the astronaut. Nevertheless, the defense argues there was a third person in the lounge, and that's who killed the victim.
Objection!
To take such reckless claims in a courtroom takes a bold man, or stupid one. There was no third person in the boarding lounge. Or have you gone totty already? Old man.
Objection!
Am I tweaking? Little boy, am I tweaking? He's like 34, right? Phoenix, that is 34. Bro was 6 years older than him. We'll see who's the dotard after I trounce you with my years of experience, little boy. In any case, Mr. Starbuck claims he saw someone leaving the lounge. Furthermore, a Space Center employee also saw a suspicious figure at the scene. They saw a third person? I see my sister has been running her mouth. That's right, I almost forgot that Aura is Prosecutor Blackwell's sister. No matter. She didn't see this mystery person's face clearly. Therefore, this is no evidence to indicate that this person was not the defendant. I guess the possibility that the figure was Mr. Starbuck is still there. In brief, we need to determine if a third person was there or not. To this end, we should hear the testimony of one of the first people on the scene. Director Cosmos, huh? Oh, thank you for the roses. I see him coming in. Thank you. Damien, do your homework? I don't have homework. First of all. Very well, bailiff. Please bring the witness to the stand. What, I believe I've seen you before in the newspapers. Of course you have! For I'm Yuri Cosmos, director of the Cosmos Space Center, which was of course named after me, Yuri Cosmos! Don't you have anything you wish to ask me? Looks like he's all geared up to do some bragging. 7 years ago, I successfully launched that one, and... Everyone already knows how brilliant you are. Even I am trying to hold back my tears at seeing such a great man standing before me. Not the glazing! Oh my goodness. So could you please proceed directly to your important testimony? I see this fine young lad has a proper appreciation of greatness. I should have said greatness, but whatever. Then allow me to begin my epochal testimony that will be recorded in the annals of history. Hello, I'm violently ill. Don't have hearing aid, but somebody tell me I love them. Oh, somebody tell Ketchup I say, I hope you feel better. Lots of love. That speech of Prosecutor Blackwell's just now. It sounded more to me like he was poking fun at Director Cosmos. It's probably for the best that it sailed right over the director's head. Now then, Director Cosmos. The condensed version of your illustrious testimony, please. Detective Arm and I rushed towards the boarding lounge together. We went via the control room and peeked in from there to see what was going on inside. We saw a figure standing in the middle of the lounge, and Taryn lying on the floor. I hate to say it, but I can only imagine the standing figure must have been Starbuck. I see. So your testimony, you claim you arrived on the scene after the two had escaped from the launch pad to the lounge. And just after the victim had been killed. Oh, the horror! The humanity! But what I said is what I saw, and what I saw is what I said. Courageous act. A courageous action. Courageous action to take in the face of such terrifying explosions. Wouldn't you say? To save my men, I went personally into the epicenter of danger. Risking my own life for theirs. Well, what do you know? Sounds like the director really cares about his men. He sounds more like he cares about glazing. Him fucking so. Oh my gosh. Yeah, although it sounds more like he was scared and just had a peek from far away. Is the defense ready to cross-examine the witness? Yes. Yes, Your Honor. Director Cosmos' testimony is pretty vague. I'm going to have to press him and draw out more information before I do anything else.
Hold it!
Laura Blackwell also saw a suspicious figure in the lounge. She gave the statement that it was too dark to see the person's face clearly. Did you see this figure's face clearly? No, but not clearly. The lighter they were holding illuminated the area around their feet at the time. But other than that, I could see little else. That's why I could see Turan, but I couldn't see who the other person was. So for all you know, it might not have been Mr. Starbuck. Isn't that correct? I would like to believe that. Starbuck isn't the type of man who's capable of murder.
Objection!
Oh, thank you. When the witness entered the boarding lounge, there was no third person there. Isn't that correct? Great Space Center Director. Yes, that's right. Only Starbuck and Turan were there by that time. After we peeked in, the lounge suddenly went dark and the figure vanished. Hi. You mean they disappeared? That's
Objection!
odd. The reason the figure appeared to vanish is because it was the defendant. When the witnesses weren't looking, he fell to the floor and feigned consciousness.
Hold it!
Hold on. Director Cosmos, did you ever take your eyes off the scene? Just for a brief instant, about as long as it takes for a shooting star to go by. If you took your eyes off the scene, then this third person could have escaped during that time. What if that person, okay, do y'all remember that one part of the room? Did we get that as evidence, possibly? Probably not. But do you remember that one area that had, the, resting oxygen areas? What if they did the murder and then hid in there? Phoenix looks fine. Phoenix is fine. Phoenix been fine. This is not news. This is just truth. And then this third person could have escaped during that time. But what escape route could this person have used? The direction opposite the control room. The southern door to the elevators. there's no security lock on that door, so it would have been possible to escape that way.
Objection!
They're about to be like the elevator, but if they went that direction, couldn't they have gone into the fucking oxygen tubes or oxygen resting areas? Because one of them was closed too. You know what I mean? All things are possible, right, Dono? The real question is, do you have any proof? Well, if we're just talking possibilities, we could each profess whatever we'd like. An inmate who used to be a university professor and a lunar researcher used to say that there was a kingdom of little green men who lived under the surface of the moon. As long as they don't punish us in the name of said moon for what we've done to it. But I say, where's your proof that this quaint kingdom exists? He's calling your work of your theory a work of fiction, boss. And he's right. I don't have any proof yet. Still, the southern door was a possible escape route. I'd better make a mental note of that. What if it wasn't? What if they didn't make it out the room? I don't know. I'm keeping my theories. Gotta keep my mind open. Director Cosmos, may I ask you a question? Yes? Why did you look away from the boarding lounge? Ha! There's actually another tale of bravery, right? Of bravery behind the answer to that. It was when Detective Arm saw the figure and raised her gun. Being a great humanitarian and protector of mankind, I tried to stop her. What? You're saying Detective Arm raised her gun as soon as she saw the figure? I imagine her instinct says a detective told her they were the killer. I don't know about that. Were you able to prevent Detective Arm from firing her gun? I'm afraid I was too late. I was unable to stop her. She identified herself clearly, and then she fired 2 warning shots at the shadowy figure. There's only 1 bullet hole, though, isn't there? This information about Detective Arm's actions sounds critically important. Please add it to your testimony. Detective Arm fired 2 warning shots at the figure.
Objection!
What's it called? There's only 1 bullet. This piece of evidence clearly exposes the witness's lie. It does? Certainly a boldness. The defense's boneheadedness. There is nothing untoward about that evidence, no matter how he blusters. I agree. There is nothing compelling in that evidence. Ow! I'm definitely losing the judge's confidence in me here. The glass, you think? That makes no sense. Where's the glass? The bullet hole. I did the bullet. There we go. There we go. Are you sure you were really paying attention to what Detective Arm was doing? You doubt my words? Words that will someday be written down in history books? Somehow, I don't think those exact words will ever be written down in any history books. Mr. Wright, can you please explain yourself so that we can all understand? You see that Detective Arm fired 2 warning shots. And yet, only one bullet hole was ever found at the scene. What? Only one bullet hole means the gun was only fired once. And yet, Director Cosmos is saying Detective Arm fired 2 shots. No editor would allow such a glaring contradiction into a history book.
Objection!
Unfortunately for you, the witness's words are true. We confirm that 2 shots were fired from Detective Arm's gun.
Objection!
But there was only one bullet hole at the scene. Where did the other bullet hole vanish to? Ugh! You should know the answer to that already. I should. During the previous trial, a certain oxygen tank was presented as evidence. We've already discussed that it was ruptured in the lounge, have we not? Well, it appears that thing that ruptured it was a bullet. A bullet was found near the tank, to be precise. And this bullet was fired from a .38 caliber gun. That means that our bullet, look at that. Our bullet is a whole different gun. Look at that. What? The rifling marks also match up. There's no question that the bullet was fired from Detective Arm's gun. Rifling marks. They're like a gun's fingerprint on a bullet, correct? And examining the rifling marks on a bullet can tell us the gun it was fired from. One of the bullets the detective fired found its way onto the holographic image display. The other bullet came to a stop near the victim's oxygen tank. The evidence confirms the director's statement that the detective fired 2 shots. No, it doesn't. My beautiful contradiction. Gone. Oh, gone. So that bullet hole was from a .38 caliber, huh? I'd better update the record. Look at that. Look at the size difference of the bullets, too, beside each other. Very good. Now that we have the fate of both of the shots Detective Arm fired, Mr. Wright, does that clear up all of your questions? Detective Arm fired 2 warning shots. One hit the holographic display, and the other hit the oxygen tank. Does that really clear up everything about what happened at the scene? No, it doesn't. No, Your Honor, it doesn't. Detective Arm fired 2 warning shots from a .38 caliber gun. But that doesn't explain the existence of a certain piece of evidence found at the scene. A piece that points to the existence of a third person. Oh? Very well. But it won't do to keep us waiting, Mr. Wright. A piece of evidence suggests the possibility of a third person at the scene. See, I got too excited. I brought it up early. And what is this metal pellet supposed to be? Just a little something of great importance we found at the crime scene, Your Honor. You found it where? You didn't like that. You didn't like hearing that, huh? In a floor gutter at the crime scene. It looks like the police and prosecution both missed it. Furthermore, this is a .10 caliber bullet, making it much smaller than one of Detective Arm's .38 calibers. That means... Exactly. One more person must have been there, in the lounge. A third person who had a gun and could fire a .10 caliber... that could fire .10 caliber bullets. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I don't trust him. And if that's true, it explains why Detective Arm fired warning shots. This third person fired at Detective Arm and Director Cosmos with their gun. And in return, the detective fired her warning shots. Isn't that how it really went down, Director Cosmos?
It looks like you've deduced my miraculous tale of survival.
Yes, you're absolutely correct.
The mystery person fired upon us. What's this now?
What? You never breathed a word of any of this to me before.
Well,
all great men have a secret or two.
Don't you know?
Foolish old geezer. So Director Cosmos really has been hiding the presence of a third person all along. Director Cosmos! I want you to testify to the court about what you really saw.
You may be a great man, but in my courtroom, you're just another witness. You won't receive special treatment here. Now, please give an accurate testimony. Detective Arm and I rushed to the control room together. In the lounge, we saw a figure standing in the middle of the room, and Terran on the floor. We were still in the control room to the east when the figure fired at us. No. Given that there was no third person in the lounge when the witness entered it, does this mean the person who fired the gun had to have been the defendant?
Not necessarily. It's still possible that it was someone else. Most likely, as soon as Detective Arm and Director Cosmos discovered this person, they escaped through the southern door. The one that didn't have a security lock.
Objection!
Double-edged swords are a tricky lot. Mishandle one and it's you who is cut down. Your reasoning could apply if Science Boy were the killer as well. Think about it. After being discovered, he could have fired the 10 caliber gun. Detective Arm would have responded by firing 2 warning shots. All he had to do was feign unconsciousness to invent the possibility of a third person.
Objection!
But Mr. Starbuck didn't have a gun in his possession when he was found by the police. Nor has a gun been found at the crime scene. Its absence can only be explained if there were a third party who took it with them.
Objection!
Recall the existence of a trash chute in the boarding lounge. The defendant could have simply thrown the gun down the chute. Amy, what's your favorite animal? I like cats and I like bunnies a lot. I'm quite fond of most animals, to be honest.
Objection!
But you can't deny the possibility of a third person leaving with the weapon.
Objection!
It's up to you to prove that possibility. And I trust you haven't forgotten my little piece of decisive evidence. What evidence? Why, the detonator switch was found in Mr. Starbuck's pocket. Naturally. So, are we pretending that the motherfucker couldn't have just put it there? The most compelling evidence of all that tells us he is the culprit. I did forget about that! Look, your boldness. How deliciously obvious it is that they lack the evidence to rival mine. Wow, he sliced our third-person theory to ribbons and served it to us just like that.
Yes, well, I have a question of my own, actually. That bullet that the mysterious figure shot, what exactly did it hit? What did it hit exactly? It hit me. So does that mean you're a ghost?
Bye! I was wondering when you'd realize it, your baldness. Director Cosmos is an authentic, bona fide ghost. He can even pass through walls.
Objection!
Prosecutor Blackwell! Shame on you for teasing the nice old gentleman! Your boldness, it was all in jest. Please show yourself again.
Are you sure? In that case, how did you manage to survive being shot, Director Cosmos? Haha, I'm glad you asked.
It was a miracle. A miracle befitting a great history-making figure such as myself.
The bullet hit my glorious Medal of Honor, whereby it ricocheted, thus saving my life. What?
That's unbelievable. I have to check this out. Oh, wow. Look at that. There's one extra Gaiaxa star. The odds are literally astronomical. Guess it really was a miracle. It's beginning to really feel like Cosmos was watching out for Director... the Cosmos was watching out for Director Cosmos.
But why did you conceal this information, Director Cosmos? A great man such as myself has to hide things on occasion, no matter how much it hurts. It is the plight of the truly great. It may be hard for this generation to understand.
I don't know, but it sounds fishy to me. What else is he hiding? I have a theory, right? So, basically, do we have any pictures of that room? We'll just talk about it here. This, right? Do we have a picture of the other map? I need the other map bad. But obviously, in the lounge, where he would have been standing, to have been hit by the bullet for it to ricochet and actually hit into the, what's it called? The little screen. Wouldn't he have been standing in the middle of the room? Am I tweaking? Like, he would have been standing in the middle of the room for it to ricochet off his chest. So that said, I believe that he's the one that hit the oxygen tank, while Detective Arm actually shot at him. That's the only explanation. That's the only thing that makes sense. I don't know, but it sounds fishy to me. What else is he hiding? Let's just cross-examine him. See what we can find out. Bring her in. Friend, she's 6 feet down. She is not coming in.
Now then, Mr. Wright. Now then, Mr. Wright.
Not then.
Your cross-examination, please.
Look at this. We were still in the control room to the east when the figure fired at us. How would he be there and then it ricochet onto the thing? That makes no fucking sense.
Objection!
Director Cosmos, I believe you're telling this great court a glorious lie.
A great man like me tell a lie? Have you ever heard of such a thing in all of history?
My accusation is based on the positions of the people who were in the lounge. According to your testimony, you and Detective Arm were near the control room door, and the mystery figure was standing in the middle of the boarding lounge. If, as you say, the figure fired a gun at you from this position, then the bullet would have traveled in this direction. However, we found the .10 caliber bullet here. .10 caliber, whatever.
Oh! This trajectory, where the bullet was actually found, contradict each other. Dr. Cosmos, where were you really when you were being shot at? Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the human merry-go-round.
Objection!
Hi! Don't tell me you've forgotten already. Didn't the witness himself just tell you? The bullet hit his metal. Of this, there's no mistake. That's not the problem, dummy.
Objection!
But in that case, the bullet should have been found near the east side of the room. Are you trying to say that you can explain this inconsistency? Of course. I didn't think so. What? Oh, great Director Cosmos. Yes! Is there something you'd like to expound upon? We're in fact not in the control room to the east, were you? You were looking into the lounge from the door to the south. Is that not right? What are you getting at? Use your own brain. Your head must have some use other than housing that bird's nest. Bird's nest? Why does everyone pick on my hair? Director Cosmos and the detective witnessed the scene from the southern door. The killer fired at them there, and that is why the bullet was found in the south. That makes some sense, actually. Also, the witness being at the southern door is rather favorable to the prosecution. I've got a bad feeling about this. How about it, Director? If you don't tell the truth this time... Yikes! These handcuffs! You will become but rust upon my sword. I relish the chance to cut down a great man. Alright, I'll tell the truth! Just put your sword away! You are correct. I, the great Yuri Cosmos, was looking into the room from the southern door. What? That's the complete opposite of all the testimony he's given so far. And now you've lost your possibility that a third person was in the room. I have? How? The director and the detective were near the southern door, meaning that the killer couldn't have escaped through there. The western door required print recognition. The corridor beyond was filled with smoke. The only escape route left was the eastern control room door. And the only way to get through there was with Director Cosmos' fingerprints. In short, there would be no escape for any third person, had there been one. My third person just disappeared. Like in one of Trucy's magic tricks. Nuh-uh-uh. Cosmos could still be the third person, I'm saying. Because what if they both did come from the south entrance? Except, instead of them coming together, Cosmos was already in there earlier, and Detective Arm followed after. Is there not a high chance of that? Is there not a very high chance of that? And then, what's it called? She watched him shoot at the astronauts, which hit the oxygen tank, and maybe she was like, hey, stop there, and he turned around, and then she shot at him after the warning, which had the bullet, what's it called? Like, hit into his thing and bounce off the screen and then fall into the friggin' thing. Maybe that's what happened. Either that or, you know, Detective Arm did come out from the other side. The glass hole, though. I did say that. I said it bounced off the screen. The screen is the glass hole. Order! Order in the court! Director Cosmos, why did you tell such an outrageous lie?
You were covering for the defendant. Isn't that right?
Yes. It was all for the love of my men. If I said I was in the eastern control room, it would mean the culprit could have escaped through the southern door. It would have meant that there could have been a third person. All I wanted to do was protect Starbuck. I said I was in the control room to invent an escape route for the third person.
What a convoluted lie. Was he really covering for the defendant?
It looks like we've come to a conclusion that the defense's argument, the possibility of a third person, has crumbled.
No! No, it adds on to it. It adds on to it. Because if there was an escape still, if there was still a chance of an escape, that would only leave him as the only person that could escape as well. Because, as we mentioned before, the control room needs, like, special, like, authorization. Meaning that he is probably the only one that could have escaped that way. So he probably just went through the control room instead of the southern, like, entrance. Like everybody thinks. It's the reverse.
It's over.
Yikes. The judge is about to hand down his verdict. Think, Phoenix. Think! This is the perfect time to try and turn my thinking around. The third person had no way of escaping the scene. And what if one of the people at the scene was this third person? Wait. What if the whole premise is all wrong? Director Cosmos said he and Detective Arm rushed to the scene together. But what if that premise isn't true? What if one of them reached the scene before the other one? What have I been saying? What have I been saying? And that if the person entered the lounge, then they would be the third person.
The defendant is the only one who could have killed the victim and shot at the director. There doesn't appear to be any room for argument against these claims. Now I render my verdict.
Objection!
Hi! Please wait, Your Honor. There is still one possibility.
No? This had better be good, Mr. Wright.
There is one and only one person who could have escaped from that scene. And that person would be the first person who arrived on the scene. Ooh. Then, upon entering the boarding lounge, the second person to arrive came via the southern door. That's why the first person fled from the room, using an escape route. Using an escape route that was accessible only to them.
Very well, let's hear more about this theory. Who is this person who could have escaped? Where are you, buddy? Look at him. The little robots. Oh my god. 37! Need her. Need her. What's it called?
Take that!
What? But that's... Mr. Wright, what are you claiming here?
Of all the people who were at the scene, only the witness could have escaped. The director is the only one with the authority to open the control room door after all.
But that means...
Exactly. The true identity of the third person is our current witness, Director Yuri Cosmos.
Ah!
What? What? Come on, you're not that surprised, girl. Be serious.
Order. Order in the court. I say, Mr. Wright, you will explain yourself in more detail.
As I assert, the Director Cosmos arrived at the scene before Detective Arm and entered the boarding lounge alone. Detective Arm arrived after that end. saw a suspicious figure who was actually Director Cosmos standing in the lounge. And that's why he fired those 2 warning shots.
I've been hit! I've been hit on the starboard side!
Captain Wright! That's a direct hit on the enemy ship, sir. A magnificent shot.
Warning shots fired from the enemy ship. Prepare to intercept. Cosmos, you've told a lie in this court once again! I've been hit! I've been hit on the port side! The enemy is called in reinforcements!
You're at the Cosmos Control Center, requesting permission to ask that you return to reality.
But my ship will not go down to anything less than an ultimate weapon of evidence!
Objection!
But I do have evidence. In fact, you could say that your battleship bears its scar. Director Cosmos is the third person, our Blackwell saw. And this third person fired at Detective Arm, Director Cosmos with their gun. We just talked about this, like, we don't need a flashback. And in return, the detective fired her warning shots. Isn't that how it really went down, Director Cosmos?
Like you've deduced my miraculous tale of survival. Yes, you're absolutely correct. A mysterious figure fired upon us.
They're always doing unnecessary flashbacks, bro. No, because they did not do it this much in the older games. This is so excessive. Director Cosmos must have been the only one. Must have been the one who fired the .10 caliber gun. Oh my gosh, blah. When Detective Arm discovered him in the lounge, it only makes sense that he would have turned and shot at her. Therefore, the evidence on the director's body is of a different kind of relevance than before. Once we compare it against another piece of evidence, the mark you received from the third party will be all the proof we need to prove that you were the one there in the lounge.
Brace for further impact!
Comparison against this piece of evidence will prove you were the one in the lounge. The bullet.
Take that!
Oh wait, no! Fuck, it was the other bullet! Oh! This hurts. Hold on, I'm skipping it. Huh? Oh, I clicked the wrong fucking bullet. I'm gonna get my shit wrecked. Sad face.
Mr. Wright, please, only person ever.
Yeah, I get it! Damn! The explosion is new. It has to be. I clicked the wrong bullet. I clicked the wrong bullet. I was like, dumbass, do it again. My bad. Sorry. Ah, shucks. The .38 caliber bullet found on the floor at the scene didn't hit the oxygen tank. It hit Director Cosmos' metal. If we have that ricochet mark on the metal analyzed, I'm sure the caliber will match up. And if that mark proves to be from a .38 caliber bullet, caliber bullet, it will prove that you are the third person we've been looking for.
Yeah! The bridge is destroyed! Losing altitude! All hands abandoned ship! If that's true, then what about the bullet that hit the oxygen tank?
It was the .10 caliber bullet. In other words, it was the bullet fired by Yuri Cosmos. Isn't that right, Director?
No! You've got it all wrong! What? The engines have started again? It's a miracle! I'm not going down yet! Witness, stop this at once and confess the truth!
If you don't want the history books to say that a great man was a great liar, then accept your fate and tell the truth!
Are you giving me orders? Me, the great director of Cosmos Space Center? But the Cosmos revolves around me! Oh my goodness. This is so embarrassing. Grown-ass man. You probably 92 with kids. Grandchildren. Great-grandchildren. Someone get me off this thing! Order. Order in the court. And will someone please stop the witness from spinning? Whew. Thank goodness we were able to stop him from spinning off the face of the earth. While he was twirling, I took the liberty of running an analysis on the mark on the metal. It was made by a .38 caliber bullet, matching with the size of Detective Arm's firearm. Are you ready to confess the truth, witness? No! You've got it all wrong. This is just a misunderstanding. Is he going to start piling on more lies? It looks like it. But no matter how many lies he tells, I'll just expose them one by one. I'll make that big liar tell the truth. He's 62, by the way. That's crazy. His grandchildren have grandchildren. Old ass. Piss me off so bad. Acting a fucking fool. This gotta be the last part, so let's do it. Let's do it. Why not? Director Cosmos, a new possibility has been presented by the defense. They're claiming that you were this third person. Forgive me, I'm so sorry. So the great pioneer of space development is revealed to be just another fabulous cur. I only have one question for the likes of you. Shall I send you off quickly or very quickly? Yeah! The evidence doesn't lie, Director Cosmos. So don't try to talk your way out of this. Fine. I'll tell the truth. It's all just as you say, Mr. Wright. It's true that I was there in the boarding lounge. I got there before Detective Arm, and when she arrived, she fired warning shots at me. I was afraid people would mistake me for the killer, so I escaped into the control room. I then went past the elevators, all the way to the boarding lounge 1 again. I came up behind Detective Arm and pretended to be the second on the scene. What a troublesome old man you are, with such convoluted deeds and thoughts. I see. So then, are you still insisting that you did not kill the victim? Of course I am! When I arrived at the lounge alone, I saw the true killer. The great Yuri Cosmos was a history-making witness! Now, hold on just one moment. We just proved a few minutes ago that the third person that Mr. Starbuck and Miss Aura Blackwell saw was you. No, it wasn't me! I saw the person as well! If I were the killer, why would I lie to cover for Starbuck? I would just leave him to take the fall! That is an excellent point. All I wanted to do was protect Starbuck. I said I was in the control room to invent an escape route for a third person. Well, that makes some sense if he told those lies to cover for Mr. Starbuck. Still, a lie's a lie, Athena. So Director Cosmos claims he's not the culprit? But where's the proof? I just remembered. I have an alibi. Miss Blackwell said she saw the killer at 10 a.m., correct?
Yes. And?
Well, I was on the 4th floor helping with the evacuation effort. Ask any member of the staff you'd like. They'll cooperate me.
The director is not fibbing to the court.
For once.
I confirm that he has an alibi for the time specified. How long have you been live? It's only been 2 hours. It's not that long. Considering how long each round is, I'm quite, pleased. So, you're claiming that Miss Blackwell saw the killer commit the crime first, at 10 a.m. And that you arrived at the lounge after that?
Yes, I believe the person I saw is the same person that Miss Blackwell saw, although it was pitch black, so it was more of a shadowy figure and less of a person. And I couldn't actually see their face, but it was definitely the silhouette of an earthling.
As long as he has an alibi, we can't very well claim Director Cosmos was the killer.
No, we can't.
Then again, maybe we don't need to yet. I wonder if he really was covering for Mr. Starbuck.
Your Honor, the defense moves to have the director testify about the person he saw. Very well. Director Cosmos, your testimony, please. As I tried to enter the lounge, the true killer inside fired a gun at me. I hid to avoid getting shot. But when I tried to get another look, they had vanished into thin air. I was near the elevator side door, and well, not the launchpad 1 door. And the control room should have been shut tight to the killer.
So you were shot at by the killer as well. Then they disappeared?
Yes, though luckily no harm came to my glorious body. Fortunately, the bullet hit Terren's oxygen tank. I know because I heard a pang! That must have been the sound of the tank being ruptured.
Wait, but I thought the bullet hit his metal.
That was Detective Arm's bullet, remember?
Right. What a mess this is turning into. Director Cosmos is claiming that when he found Mr. Terran and his killer, the culprit shot a .10 caliber bullet at him.
Right.
It actually hit Mr. Terran's oxygen tank and ruptured it. And then the killer disappeared. The director went into the boarding lounge. When Detective Arm caught up and fired those warning shots at him, judging by his metal, it looks like one of them almost took him out too.
Good summary. But that doesn't explain where a mystery killer went. Director Cosmos, I was wondering if you could elaborate on when the figure disappeared. I'm ashamed to admit it. I'm ashamed to admit, I tried to hide myself when I was shot at, but when I peeped back into the lounge, the real killer was gone. I rushed into the lounge straight away to investigate, but what I found was Terran with a knife in his chest, and Starbuck out cold on the floor.
The trash chute is also an option, you're so right.
So we have a culprit who vanished from a scene that had no escape route. Vanished without a trace. It's truly like one of the great mysteries of the cosmos.
Silence!
A riddle of the ages, indeed. But I'd rather know how a fibbing leech such as you can be lauded as great. A great man is always misunderstood in his own time, but he must remain true to himself, even if those around him don't understand.
Wow. That might be the first true statement he said all day.
But
How do we suppose this person managed to vanish so suddenly? Simple. Because it was Spaceboy himself. When he was spotted by the director and Aura, he quickly feigned unconsciousness. That would certainly take all the mystery out of the idea of a vanishing culprit. I want to raise an objection, but I don't have any counter-evidence. Dr. Cosmos. Director Cosmos, not Doctor. Doctor? Maybe he could have helped if he was a frickin' doctor. When you saw this person, did you also see Mr. Starbuck on the floor? No, because it was as dark as a black hole in there. I didn't see Starbuck until the other person vanished, and I entered the room. That wasn't exactly helpful. I'm prepared to accept your surrender, right, Dono? I can't find any holes in this testimony, but I can't give up. Mr. Wright, why don't you let me help? Huh? While the director was giving his testimony, I detected... A what? Cacophony of discord. Which means he's hiding his true feelings from us. Huh. This might just help us find out what happened to our vanquished killer. That'd be great, Athena. Let's see what you can do with him. You got it, boss. I wouldn't want to miss this chance to delve into a great mind. Hurry, Cosmos. Prepare to hand over the secrets of your heart to me.
Let's try to enter the lounge. The true killer inside fired a gun at me. I hid to avoid getting shot. But when I tried to get another look... No emotions? They had vanished into thin air. I was near the elevator side door. And well, the launch pad one door. And the control room door should have been shut tight to the killer.
Talk about mixed feelings. You must be trying to account for a number of contradictions. Mr. Wright, maybe this time we shouldn't just look for contradictory emotions. We should look for emotions that should be there, but aren't. I guess I shouldn't be surprised that his mind is a convoluted place too. He must have been very shaken and distressed at the time. Let's focus on the fluctuations in his emotions and see what we can uncover.
No, because why is he not, like, surprised that the guy's missing? Yeah, no. Pinpoint.
Got it!
Where's the shock? Bro disappeared. No surprise when the killer vanished? I'm saying.
You must have thought that it was very strange that the killer vanished into thin air.
I did. That kind of thing just doesn't happen, usually.
And yet, at that time, you barely registered any shock at the occurrence.
What? Why are you...
I can only think of one reason as to why you weren't surprised by the killer's vanishing act. You must have had a good idea of where they went. Isn't that right?
What? No, of course not. That's preposterous. Only I can enter the control room. And the area beyond the launchpad door was filled with smoke, making it impassable. And as for the southern door... I was standing right there. So, there was nowhere for the killer to run.
Maybe. Or maybe not. You went into the room to check on Mr. Starbuck and Mr. Turan, yes? What if the culprit took that opportunity to silently slip through the southern door?
I highly doubt it. And as you recall, right after I entered the lounge, Detective Arm came rushing towards it herself via the southern hallway. Anyone trying to escape there would have been caught by her.
And yet the director wasn't surprised the killer vanished.
So, you're absolutely sure there was no escape route for the culprit to use?
It's working, boss. One more punch and it'll be a knockout. There seems to be one more emotion that's at odds with his testimony. Go get him.
Okay, back in the Matrix it is. Time to pinpoint our way to victory. Sadness. Why are you sad about that, but you're not sad about this? Right? That's strange and off.
Got it!
Correct me if I'm wrong, but you seem to be afraid of the launchpad door.
The great Yuri Cosmos? Afraid? And what basis do you have for that outlandish accusation?
Whether I have any basis or not, you seem quite distressed by it.
I'm most certainly not!
Director Cosmos! There's something about the launchpad door that you're not telling us, isn't there?
Yeah!
Wow, he's speechless. It looks like you hit the nail on the head, boss. I'll just input those two pieces of data and... Yes! Just what I wanted to see.
We're not all the way down, though.
Presto changeo. Let's discord. And looks like we're on the right track.
Thanks, Athena. Now, to make sense of what we've learned.
Dr. Cosmos wasn't surprised that the culprit suddenly vanished from the lounge, which points to the possibility that he knew where the killer had escaped to. Furthermore, talking about the door to the launch pad made him uneasy. In other words, he's probably hiding something about the launchpad 1 door. When we put these two pieces together, only one solution to this puzzle comes to mind.
Bro escaped through here, yeah. Oops, I didn't mean to press that. Hold on, wait 1 second, y'all. I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna go pee.
I've returned. Hello, everyone. Oh my goodness. Hi, everybody. Hello, I'm back. Sorry about that. Yeah, obviously it was over here. Like, let's be serious. The culprit went through the Launchpad 1 door to escape, didn't they?
Yes, I mean, no! Disaster to starboard! We're going to crash into an asteroid!
Master Tactician, you are not. But the area beyond the door was filled with smoke, wasn't it? True, but this is still the only logical answer there is. We can just figure out what the director is hiding about the Launchpad 1 door. We should be able to iron out the logical inconsistencies.
But that door requires fingerprint recognition! Only Starbuck, Turan, and I have access. I don't see how the killer could have opened that security lock. Do you?
That's an easy one. The killer was right there, in the boarding lounge meeting. And there's a way he could have easily gotten past the security lock. The handprint! The handprint being Mr. Starbucks. Mr. Starbuck. The handprint. Remember, we were like, oh, it's just his handprint. They went through. I propose the killer used this person's fingerprint to get past the security locks.
Take that!
He was unconscious.
That's...
Mr. Starbuck was lying unconscious there, in the boarding lounge. Anybody could have easily gotten past the security lock by using Mr. Starbuck's prints. And actually, Mr. Starbuck's prints are exactly what we found on the device screen.
Ah!
It looks like he does have something to hide about Launchpad 1 door. And I'm betting it's got something to do with the culprit's escape route. But I don't have enough information to see the whole picture yet.
You know, something just occurred to me. Would you like to hear it?
Huh? Oh, yes. By all means.
There's a security camera in boarding lounge 1.
Right. The one that recorded the victim and the defendant. What about it, Your Honor?
If the true culprit escaped into the Launchpad 1 corridor, then that might be
recorded on the security footage as well. No, it disappeared for some reason. That shit just turned off.
Then the mystery will be solved! What do you think of my logic?
Terrible. Awful, actually. I hope you didn't strain your facilities too much for that, your boldness. Faculties. What did I say? Facilities. Whatever.
I beg your pardon?
Look, if we play the security footage beyond this point...
Oh my, the footage cuts off!
The camera was running on a backup... Oh, the camera was running on backup power, but apparently the power cables were damaged, most likely by the after effects of the explosion. There's no footage after this, be it of criminals or space aliens.
And I thought it was such a good idea too.
Just because your grandchild is watching from the gallery doesn't mean you should try to show off too much. Grandpa baldness.
Prosecutor Blackwell, how did you know about my grandchild?
I think its grandchild just learned a little about the harshness of the adult world. Setting aside the issue of grandchildren, I'd like to have the witness continue. Director Cosmos, Could you tell us more about when you entered the lounge?
If I must. Well, that's what Detective Arm appeared from the elevator side door. And then the detective shot at me. Surprise! So you see, the killer could have only escaped to the launch pad, right? Nummy, why'd you do that? I'm wearing headphones. Well, you see... What do you think about Director Cosmos' emotional responses, Athena? Actually, my cat is really sick, you know? What? Yep, I'm very sorry to hear that. On top of that, my tongue just doesn't seem to want to play with me. Why are you telling me all this now? Just humor me, okay? Now, when you heard about my cat, and then about my dog, which story made you feel sadder? The story of about your cat, of course. It's only natural. Exactly. That would be the natural reaction. But there's nothing natural about the director's reactions. I think how each individual reaction changes across the whole testimony will be the key. It sounds unnatural. It sounds unnaturally complicated. But that somehow doesn't surprise me. You guys aren't looking at the right thing. Look at how surprised he is. But then when he gets shot, he's not as surprised at all. Why are you not surprised that you got your shit blasted at?
Got it!
Director Cosmos, why were you surprised when Detective Arm found you? And again, when she fired? Isn't that a bit unnatural?
Sadly, even great men such as myself have ordinary human feelings. Our bodies are bound by the forces of gravity and emotions. Even a great man such as myself experiences surprise on occasion.
Yes, I'm sure you do. But my real point is not the fact that you were surprised, but rather what you were surprised by.
Pardon me?
First, you were surprised when Detective Arm found you in the lounge. And just after that, you were, of course, again, surprised when she shot at you. But considering what you were surprised about, a strange phenomenon occurs here. Director Cosmos, what is strange about your surprise reaction is in fact that you were more surprised when Arm came. Sure, you were surprised when Detective Arm shot at you, but the surprise you felt when she found you in the lounge was much greater. The fact that you were more surprised by simply being found than being shot at suggests to me that you were conflicted about whatever it was you were doing there.
The enemy has acquired a new weapon. Commence operation hide under your desk.
Please tell me I've finally sunk his battleship. Ugh, we still have more. Boss, I'm getting less Discord now. That must mean he really is hiding something about that launch pad door. And whatever he's hiding most likely has something to do with the killer's escape. I wonder what it could be. If he was doing something suspicious around that door, maybe we can spot some change between before he came out to the room and after. Before he came to the room and after. Detective Fulbright gave us a photo taken after the crime. Let's run a comparison. Let's see. This is footage of the door before Director Cosmos arrived. And this is how the door looked after the director entered the lounge. The knob is turned. Hey, look at that! There is a change. Something definitely is different.
Director Cosmos. What is it? What have you two been up to over there?
Finding the answer to what you were doing when Detective Arm found you. That's what. And that answer lies clearly in this footage. All we have to do is compare it to the photo that was taken during the investigation.
Don't be ridiculous! If you really do have an answer, you'd have pointed it out already.
He's asking for it. This is what changed directly after the incident. La 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 la. Right over here.
Take that!
The answer is this knob.
Yeah, that's...
Your Honor, please take a look at this footage.
Let's see.
Take a look at the knob next to the launchpad door. As you can see, it's horizontal.
Yes, it is, isn't it?
However, when we investigated the scene of the crime yesterday, the knob was vertical.
What does that mean?
It means that sometime between before the director arrived and after, someone turned this knob. After the scene was discovered, you were the only one who could have turned the knob. Come on, now, Director Cosmos. Let's hear what you have to say. What were you trying to do by turning that knob by the door?
Yeah, fine. I admit it. You're right. I did turn that knob. That knob is a safety lock meant to keep the launch pad in place. I was afraid there would be more explosions, so I wanted to move the launch pad away.
You wanted to do what? Hey. Didn't Ponko tell us something about how they prepare for launch? She said that once the launch pad's fully assembled, it's moved to the launch site. But the safety lock on the boarding lounge has to be disengaged first. I guess that clears up what that knob is for. No. So if the killer escaped into the launch pad 1 corridor, maybe they were transported along with the launch pad to the launch site. I don't think so. The launch pad 1 corridor was filled with smoke. I don't think they could have escaped through that corridor. So then, where did this killer escape to? I guess there are still some things we have to uncover.
Director Cosmos, I request that you tell us about moving the launch pad in more detail. Fine. But listen carefully, for I am about to give history-making testimony. Whatever, dude. Happiness? I had no choice but to disengage the safety lock. I feared there might be more explosions, so I had to cut the launch pad loose. Surely, The only escape the killer had was through the launch pad 1. But that area was a sea of smoke. Confound it, where on earth could they have gone? Why were you joyous? Why were you joyous and happy? Quickly, explain that for me. I had no choice but to disengage the safety lock. You made it sound like you were reluctant to do so. Yet, when you did it, you felt some joy. As if you were very pleased with yourself. How do you do it? How do you know everything as if you were there?
Pretty impressive, isn't it? This is the power of analytical psychology.
So, care to explain why you felt joy when you disengaged the safety lock?
When I think back to the facts we've discovered up to this point, I have to believe that you were trying to fulfill some hidden agenda.
How do you know about that too?
Because I'm more or less a pro at guessing.
But you have no proof that I had a hidden agenda. Even if I did, I would never, ever tell you. So there.
I know they say people regress as they grow older, but you, sir, take the cake.
And how could you doubt a man with such great intensity, intelligence, and integrity?
Silence!
You, a man of integrity? Don't make me laugh. Prosecutor Blackwell. What came over him all of a sudden? You spouted nothing but falsity since you stepped up to the stand. You're not the kind of man that will be glorified in the annals of history. Not for greatness, anyway. Unless you consider greatest barefaced liar an honor.
Liar!
Oh, God! His words bite harder than his blade. You moved Launchpad 1 after the explosions. My, how naive you are. You fail to realize how even the facts themselves have betrayed you. You know, just the thought, but modern English can be your friend. And here's a thought for you. Immediately following the bomb, Launchpad 1 was on the boarding lounge 1 side. The police confirmed this on on scene.
What? Liar? He's still pressed about being called a liar. That's crazy.
So that means the director didn't move the launch pad? Curse my judgment for calling history's greatest liar to the witness stand. Let us leave him to indulge in his lies and war games to his heart's content.
Objection!
But it doesn't make sense. You can't deny that someone turned that knob. And once the safety lock was released, I'm sure the pad must have went somewhere. If we chase down the truth of this issue, we just might find where the killer escaped to. Yeah, sure, must have went somewhere. We just might find out. Your arguments are nothing but conjecture, bluffing, and wishful thinking. Stop chasing your fantasies and see reality for what it really is.
Are you not man enough to, boy?
Gah! Boy is crazy. Talk about hitting below the belt. Youngins these days. I don't understand it. I'm sure Director Cosmos must have moved the launch pad. The knob was definitely turned after he came into the lounge. But the launch pad is right where it's supposed to be. Wait a minute. Maybe I have it all backwards. Maybe it went the other way. What if the director turned the knob, not to move the launch pad away, but to bring it back to where it was supposed to be? What are you blathering about? What if the launch pad was at the launch site before the incident. And after the incident, Director Cosmos moved it back to its usual spot. All he had to do was turn the knob to call the launch pad back, and it would be right where the police found it. Gah! You made him sigh like Mr. Starbuck. Was what I said really that off base? It pains me to have to explain how wrong your own logic is to you. However, our great liar turned the knob only after he discovered the crime scene. Indeed, the pad existed beyond the lounge when our Astro Wonders made their escape. The fact that it had been recorded for posterity on filmless film. Oh, right. So to reiterate, stop chasing your fantasies and see reality for what it is, boy. Ah! Get a grip, Mr. Wright, and focus! We know the launch pad must have been moved. But our deductions and the actual facts of the case are in direct contradiction to each other. Well, maybe the two astronauts never actually boarded the rocket. This footage could be fake, taken with body doubles after the incident or something. On second thought, that's too far-fetched, even for me. Never actually boarded the rocket? Hey, wait a minute. Maybe. Just maybe. Huh? Prosecutor Blackwell, what if I told you that the two astronauts never set foot inside the launch pad area, but instead went into another place? What if the director moved launch pad 1 back? It was not from the launch site, but from another place. What would you say then? Cut the existential bull. I'll cut you.
Mr. Wright, you will explain yourself at once.
I know I'm right. It was all the other way around from the beginning. Very well, Your Honor. Let me explain. Director Cosmos' reason removing Launchpad 1 was switch it to another place. Because he wanted to switch it from... wanted to switch with some other place.
I'm sorry, but did you say switch it? What could he possibly have switched and switched the launchpad with?
Isn't it the, Space Museum? Isn't that the other place? You'd be surprised, Your Honor. All it takes is a little thinking outside the box. The answer becomes clear as day. Here it is, look at that, it's right there.
Take that!
Launchpad 1 was switched with the Space Museum. In the past, the Space Museum used to be Launchpad 2. It's all the same features as Launchpad 1, and can even be moved to the launch site. Meaning, the Space Museum and Launchpad 1 can also be switched with each other.
You can't mean...
The rocket the astronauts boarded was not the one in Launchpad 1. It was the one in the Space Museum.
What? Balderdash!
My gosh. And yet, it's the only explanation that accounts for every riddle and inconsistency. This is how the Space Center was just before the incident.
I see Launchpad 1 and the Space Museum have already switched places.
That's right. And with the two switched like this, the astronauts entered the Space Museum from boarding lounge 1. This allowed the true killer to enter Launchpad 1 from boarding lounge 2. And set the bomb on the rocket. Come to think of it, the door to the Space Museum from Boarding Lounge 2. Welcome. The Space Museum is open to the public every day of the year from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Exactly. Anyone could pass through the door to the Space Museum. There was no fingerprint recognition system on that door. In other words, the two launch pads switched like that. Someone other than Mr. Starbuck could have easily planted that bomb. Ooh. After sending the bomb on the rocket, the culprit snuck into the boarding lounge 1 and waited there, concealed, in order to kill Mr. Turan when the two astronauts emerged from the Space Museum. Recall that Miss Blackwell, Mr. Starbuck, and the director all saw a suspicious figure, who we can suppose after killing Mr. Turan, made their escape into the Space Museum. After that, Director Cosmos switched the two launch pads back, without realizing the killer was inside the Space Museum. The killer then left the Space Museum and made a clean getaway. Right, Adorno. I see you know how to handle a sword and handled it well. Perhaps I should call you Swordmaster Bluff? I am a seasoned warrior who has cut down many a prosecutor.
Silence!
But unless you can prove your theory, it's no better than a rusty sword. The way he actually fucking respects Phoenix is kind of funny.
That's right, you have no proof I switched the launch pads.
Somebody needs a better anger management counselor. If the launch pads really were switched, there might be a record of it somewhere. At this point... No, my bad. At this point, Launchpad 1 and the Space Museum were switched with each other. So the corridor beyond the door... They need to add, like, color-coded characters. Like, it's ridiculous that they just switch characters like that, back to back, word to word. Piss me off. So the corridor beyond the door should be the one that belongs to the Space Museum. Let's see. This is an image of the Launchpad 1 corridor. Do you see anything different when we compare it to the security footage? Huh? That number on the floor. It says 1. Well, what do you know? Looks like we have proof after all, Prosecutor Blackwell. And if this is just another bluff, don't worry. It's all right here. It says 2. You see that? Right in this footage. Proof that beyond this door is the corridor to the Space Museum. Very well then. Answer this for me if you would. What in this footage proves that the corridor belongs to the Space Museum? Right here, right here.
Take that!
There's a 1 on the floor of the Launchpad 1 corridor. But take a look at the floor of the corridor in the security footage. Do you see the number on the floor behind the astronauts? It doesn't look like a 1, does it? That's because what you see is actually part of a 2.
What?
Why is it a 2 and not a 1? That's because the corridor you see is the one to the Space Museum.
Yeah.
And so that means the corridor in this footage was not filled with smoke. That's right. Because the explosion didn't occur in the Space Museum. The explosion occurred in Launchpad 1, on the side opposite the Space Museum. And now that we know the astronauts escaped from the Space Museum, the mystery from the previous trial of how they got down the ladder is cleared up. Mr. Turan carrying Mr. Starbuck Simply took the elevator from the upper level down to the middle level.
Just incredible. The two launch pads were actually switched. You'd think someone would have noticed an event of this magnitude.
Everyone was down in the basement shelter when the launch pads were swapped back. There's no way anyone could have known what was happening on the surface.
Grr.
No more lies, Director Cosmos. It's high time you told us the truth.
Ah! My honor, my glory, everything is slipping away. Time to deploy Galactic Anything Unite. What? It's gone haywire. Ah! It won't stop. Ah! My stars, my glory. Ah! Ah! No, not that way. Yeah!
Golly! Holy fuck!
Bailiff, on your street after that witness! I see we managed to retrieve you before you came to any bodily harm.
Director Cosmos, do you admit you switched the launch pads?
I admit it's true. I switched Launchpad 1 for the Space Museum. It's good to hear words I can actually believe for a change.
Before you do, Your Honor, two things. First, we don't know if Mr. Turan had prior knowledge of the switch. And as for Mr. Starbuck, he was unaware of his surroundings thanks to his medication. Either way, Mr. Turan would have realized the instant he stepped into the Space Museum. That had been switched with Launchpad 1. So my first question is, if the Space Museum was perfectly fine, why did Mr. Turan feel the need to put on such a dramatic display? As for my second question, I'd like Director Cosmos to tell us why he switched the two launch pads to begin with.
Please, I can't. I exercise my right to remain silent. But I will say, my hands were tied. I was only doing what I could to keep my men from getting caught in that blast.
The director is terrified. He must have one heck of a reason for not wanting to explain why. Isn't it because they're fucking broke? They probably couldn't even afford to go to space. Let's be real. Probably not a good time to try and pry it out of him, huh?
Excuse me. Would you mind if I picked up my stars? Without my badge of rank, I'm nothing. I don't see why not. Bailiff, help the director retrieve his stars.
Oh.
It appears the possibility of a culprit other than the defendant has presented itself. Mr. Starbuck, is there anything you wish to say?
I don't get it.
Don't get it? What don't you get? Director,
why did you do all that? From the very beginning, you never meant for the launch to go ahead, did you?
You tricked us!
Mr. Starbuck.
Starbuck, my boy. I'm sorry. I can't tell you the reason why, but I had to do it to protect the Space Center.
Director, will I ever get the chance to go into space again?
Yes, of course. I won't rest until it happens. I will get you into space again, my boy.
Then the dream is still alive.
Silence!
You're not going to space, Starbuck, but prison. I won't have it any other way. Why are you so hung up on him? Yes, I accept that the launch pads really were switched. But if there were a third party at the scene, I suppose they could have escaped. And if there were a third party at the scene, I suppose they could have escaped. But I have yet to see proof of this third person's escape via the Space Museum.
Oh, that's a good point.
He's right. I don't have any proof.
Starbuck, we'll spill everything you know.
What? Me? Ah! Where did you get those bombs?
Tell me now. If you don't, my blade shall feast on your blood.
Ah!
I'm going to die. I want to die in space.
I have to do something.
Solomon Starbuck, prepare yourself. Yeah, you need to chill the fuck out. Now. You know violence isn't the answer, Prosecutor Blackwell. That annoyingly cheerful laugh. You mean none other than... Champion of Righteousness, Bobby Fulbright here. Just as we trust.
Detective Fulbright?
Sorry to keep you waiting, Mr. Lawyer. I hope I'm not too late.
I don't believe we had an appointment.
I tried to hurry, but I ended up helping a little old lady cross the street. And then had to break up a cat fight. I tell you, just as sure as a full-time job.
Was it a fight between cats, or...
Why are you here? Because the defendant isn't the culprit. I came to make sure that justice is served.
I don't have any idea what you're talking about.
Fulbright, I always thought you were a bit touched in the head.
But have you finally succumbed?
Nope. It looks like you've succumbed to this phantom of yours. Open your eyes and let the evidence of justice uncloud your judgment.
What evidence? Come to think of it, he did say something about finding us some evidence.
He did. Thanks to you two, I feel a lot better now that I've been able to get that off my chest. I'm gonna work extra hard to find that perfect piece of evidence for you.
I didn't think he was serious, though.
So what is it, Detective? Is it something that will prove Mr. Starbuck innocent? I mean, obviously, it is indeed. Look at this. It's the lighter. Ooh. What's this? A lighter? That's right. A lighter thought to have been used by the culprit, no less. The Space Museum's cleaning robot picked it up. It has the victim, Clay Turan's blood, along with his killer's fingerprints on it. What? Gah! Order. Order! Detective Fulbright, can I assume that the fingerprints don't belong to the defendant? You bet! Mr. Starbuck is totally innocent.
This is it. This is just what I needed.
Your Honor, this is decisive evidence that supports the defense's earlier claim. Explain yourself, Mr. Wright. With pleasure, Your Honor. Recall where this lighter was found. Based on that, we can extrapolate that after the killer murdered Mr. Turan,
They escaped with the lighter in hand into the Space Museum, where they dropped it. The switching of the two launch pads occurred. Then finally the killer left through the boarding lounge 2 and made their escape. Meanwhile, Mr. Starbuck was found in the boarding lounge 1 after the murder. A fact that Director Cosmos has testified to. Therefore, Mr. Starbuck couldn't have possibly been the one to drop the lighter there.
Silence!
But the defendant had free reign of the area until Director Cosmos appeared. Could he not have dropped the lighter in the Space Museum during that span of time?
Objection!
You'd like that to be true, wouldn't you? But Director Cosmos testified that right after he saw the mysterious figure with the lighter, he went into the lounge and found the unconscious Mr. Starbuck. In other words, Mr. Starbuck wouldn't have had time to double back to the museum. No, Prosecutor Blackwell, this lighter could only have been dropped by the real killer. Grr. Most importantly, Mr. Starbuck's fingerprints were nowhere to be found on this lighter. I think you understand what this means, don't you? This piece of evidence unequivocally proves that Mr. Starbuck wasn't the culprit. Yeah! This does indeed appear to be decisive evidence that proves the defense's claims. As for the remote switch that was found in Mr. Starbuck's pocket, we can assume it was planted by the killer on the unconscious Mr. Starbuck. No, that must be some mistake. Frankly, Prosecutor Blackwell, I've been worried about you. You've been chasing this phantom for 7 whole years. I understand your urgency because tomorrow...
Silence!
Let me guess it's the last day for his case. That's probably what the next trial is going to be about or something. Proving he's innocent or some shit. Fool Wright, you promised never to speak of that. Huh? Tomorrow? What about tomorrow?
Given the body of evidence, I think it's safe to say the defendant is innocent. In light of the fact that it was impossible for him to even commit the crime. A few unanswered questions remain, so I look forward to seeing what you two uncover. But for now, this court finds the defendant, Solomon Starbuck,
Not guilty. We did it! Yay! Yay! Let's go! Let's go! Yes, we did it, Mr. Wright! Looks like we pulled it off somehow, huh? With some help from Detective Fulbright. Mr. Wright, Miss Sykes, thank you! And please, thank Apollo for me too. You all are the best! I wish we could tell Apollo about Mr. Starbuck's verdict right now. Yeah, me too. But that's going to have to wait.
Now that a verdict has been reached, I'd like to bring today's trial to a close. Court is adjourned.
Objection!
Here he go again! Fuck! It's too late to object, isn't it? It simply isn't possible. Something's wrong.
Prosecutor Blackwell, are you dissatisfied with the verdict?
Fulbright! What were the results of the fingerprint analysis for the lighter?
The results?
Well, I was in a hurry, you see, and then there was that cat fight, and well... I kinda got carried away when I heard the prints weren't Mr. Starbuck, so... You have yet to read it? Prosecutor Blackwell, can you read out who the prints belong to? Upon thorough analysis, the fingerprints were found to belong to Athena Sykes! So says the report. What? What? Me?
Order, I say! Order! Miss Sykes, tell me you have an explanation for this. We just finished proving that this lighter could only belong to the killer. So finding your prints on it can only lead us to one grave conclusion.
I don't know how they got there, but I know I'm not the culprit. This can't be happening. We built up our argument piece by piece. I don't think any of our reasoning was faulty. So, how could it have led to this?
What have I done? Please forgive me. I'm sorry. Order. Order! Detective Fulbright, stop your crying!
What in the world is happening here? It's like the world's gone mad.
Order. Order! I will have order!
Confusion spiraled into utter chaos. After all, we fought for the truth that turned cruelly on us to accuse Athena of the crimes. Somewhere, somehow, everything had gone terribly wrong. We had stumbled over the edge of reason and into the jaws of a twisted darkness. Oh my god, and that's the end of the episode? We gotta watch the intro for the next episode. We have to. If it lets us, if it's one of the intros we can watch. Oh my goodness. It's episode 5 now, so yeah. Let's see. The beginning of the next episode. And then I'm gonna end the live. What if it's fake evidence? It has to be falsified in some way. No one can escape their past. Oh, we finally getting into our backstory? The sins we've committed. The sadness we've caused. Was it the same court case? Maybe he did do it. My bad. No matter how far we run, our past remains, as ever present as the moon in the sky. It looms in wait for the day when we are forced to face it. But only in doing so can we truly make peace and move on and hope towards tomorrow. That is crazy. But that is where we're gonna leave off, y'all. Oh my goodness. Bye, everybody. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Thanks for dropping in. Bye.